Hey guys, Kaz here, and today I'll be talking about some potential things I'm going to be reading in May. So, the past 2 months I've been doing readathons that have like very strict, here's your prompt, fit your book to it. So in May I'm like, you know what, no readathons, although technically kind of one, but not really. I'm just going to read stuff, and most of those stuff is going to be comics, to be quite honest. But first, a couple of things that I definitely want to get to. First of all, I said I wasn't going to be doing any readathons, but I'm like, I might as well kind of a little bit join in with this one. So Kat from Brews and Reviews and Emily from Novel Novels are doing the Spoonie readathon, I think is what it's called, something like that. It's basically about reading disabled authors. There are a bunch of prompts for that, but also you can take part just by reading any book with a disabled character in and or by a disabled author. I'm just going to do the very simple joinings in. I'm going to read The Amazing Eddie Eckhart, The Big Trip by Rosie Jones. This is a middle grade book. This is the second book in this series. Rosie Jones has cerebral palsy, and so does the main character in here, Eddie Eckhart. So I'll read that. It's a nice little one off the series that I'm reading. And also it means like a low-key join in, because I told myself I'm not going to do any readathons this month, but this one I feel like is fine. Just a little, you know. It's just a middle grade about Eddie being at school, existing, her friends, her family, her life, all that jazz. Next up, the buzzwordathon prompt for this month is the word every. I had a look. I literally own one book with the word every in, but I've already read it and I've reread it, and it's a really good book, but I'm not feeling rereading The Skies Everywhere by Jandy Nelson. So I had a look on my library app and I found Boy Everywhere by A.M. Dasu. So last year, when it was World Book Day, I read Boot It by this author, and it's about the same characters, and I enjoyed that one, so I thought, why not? This is also a middle grade book, and it's about Sammy and his family just chilling, living life in Damascus in Syria. Then a bomb goes off in a shopping centre, and that like twists his life upside down. They've come from a decent background, just living life, football, playing on his iPad, and now trying to get to the UK to gain asylum, and it's all about stuff happening. It's going to be some bad stuff happening, it's going to be some good stuff, because it says something like being detained but also finding like good people along the way. So I feel like it'll be an interesting one, and yes, I'm glad I found a book with the word every in. So now, if you've seen my hauls this year, you would have noticed that a lot of the hauls are mainly been comics. So I've been trying to gather up volumes of series that I've started that I want to continue, but also when they're cheap. So earlier on this year I did read up to volume 4 of The Unwritten, but I have 5 and 6 in my possession, so I definitely want to get these read, carry on the series. I'm really enjoying it so far. It's about this guy whose dad was an author, a kid's author, and the main character of these kids series was called Tommy. He's called Tom, so people associate him with it. And then everything kicks off and it's magical and words mean things and you can do stuff, and there's like different dimension sort of things. So yeah, it's all kicking off. I've read 4 volumes. I'm very much enjoying it, so I've got 2 more to read. Also, The Wicked and the Divine, I bought a few more volumes of that one, and I reread volume 1 and I've read volume 2 in March, I think, so I want to carry on this series as well. This is about gods who every 90 years they become like onto the earth, and they're pop stars or rock stars or like famous people, and there's powers and there's stuff and things happen. And at the end of both volume 1 and volume 2, there's big like cliffhangers. So we'll see if that's a thing that's going to carry on throughout the series. But yeah, I definitely want to carry on this one as well. Really enjoying this. I don't know if I'm going to be getting to all of these comics I'm going to talk about, but I'm just like letting you know, you know. Why the Last Man? This is one that I read several years ago, but I only read volume 1 because I only owned 1, 3 and 4. So I have got volume 2 now. So I want to reread this one and then just carry on the series. Again, it's just all about carrying on these series that I started and really enjoyed. So like actually read them, you know what I mean? And this is Why the Last Man, because he is the last man on Earth. The last mammal, in fact, apart from him and his monkey friend. And then yeah. stuff happens. I read this one quite a while ago, so I can't really remember anything that happened, but I did give it 4 stars, and I do know that I wanted to carry on the series, so I'm sure it was good. Here's some cats, and then I'll be back with some more comics. So at the beginning of the year I did a library haul because my library is being closed for 6 months because they're redoing all like the heating and the cooling and the stuff and the things, and yeah, it's like 4 months in and I've read hardly any of them. So I have these 3. I don't know if this is like a full thing, but this is Kick-Ass the New Girl book 1, 2 and 3. I don't know if that's all of the series, but I've got these 3 to read. I enjoyed all of the other Kick-Ass volumes, so why not? And then I also have 6 volumes of Gideon Falls, and I don't know anything about this series. I literally picked it up because it was by Jeff Lemire, and on the back it said, what was it? Horror, occultist, supernatural, rated M, mature. That's the sort of stuff that I like in comics. So dive into this one, potentially read all of them if I enjoy it. I feel like hopefully I will. But yeah, I've had all of these and then did readathons the past 2 months and then couldn't fit anything into them. So let's read some stuff that I've had, and my library is reopening, not in May, but in June, right at the beginning of June, on the 3rd of June. So let's actually read some of these books. And then finally, let's just throw another actual book in here. I have The Merciless Ones by Namina Fauna. This is the second book in the, what is it called? Has it got a name? Does it have a name? It just, the sequel to the Gilded Ones anyway. Yeah, again, I've been meaning to read this for the past few months. I have a friend who wants to buddy read this because we buddy read the first one, and it just hasn't got into the TBRs because of the prompts and stuff. So hopefully if Kate is available and wants to read this, then we will finally get to this because we have been saying we're going to read it for several months. So yeah, I enjoyed the first one. It's about this place where some people bleed gold blood and then they either get killed or sent to this place where they're like taught to be this fancy army, let's say, to fight against these things and stuff. And they're like super strong and it's really hard to kill them. Like each of them has one specific way that they can die, so you could do all the different things. You could decapitate one, you could stab them up loads of times, you could torture them like over and over again and they could keep coming alive if their way of dying is like by an arrow or something, as an example. So yes, enjoyed the first one and hopefully I'm gonna get this one read. And there we go, that is a bunch of things. Like I said, I don't know if I'm going to read all of these. Potentially we'll read some like actual books throughout there, I don't know, but I just want to get these comics read because I'm buying them because I want to read them, so I want to actually read them. And that will also help with my read 50% of the things a haul thing that I do every year. So yeah, let me know down below what you're reading in May. If you read any of these, which ones did you enjoy? Does any sound interesting? I know I'm not very good at explaining stuff, especially like Gideon Falls. Literally told you nothing about that because I don't know. But yeah, say some words down there if you want, that's what it's there for. Do the things if you want, subscribe if you want, like if you want, comment if you want, but only if you want. And yes, I will see you again in a few days with another video. Bye.